If you've spent any time on YouTube or health websites lately, you've probably seen titles like, "The Forbidden Herb Doctors Don't Want You to Know About." This plant is so powerful, Big Pharma wants it banned. For many people over 50, those headlines are tempting. You might think, if there's a natural remedy that can help my immunity, my liver, or my gut, why haven't I heard about it from my doctor? Today, we're going to calmly walk through one of those so-called forbidden herbs, Artemisia annua, also known as sweet wormwood or qinghao in traditional Chinese medicine. We'll talk about what this plant really is, what science actually supports, where the hype and conspiracy talk goes too far, and how to think about herbs like this safely if you're in your 50 seconds, 60 seconds, or 70 seconds. This is true senior healthness, where we give clear, respectful, evidence-aware guidance for older adults without scare tactics and without miracle promises. And before we dive in, one reminder. This video is educational only. It is not medical advice and does not replace a consultation with your doctor or pharmacist. If you have chronic conditions, take medications, or are considering any herb or supplement, always discuss it with your healthcare team first. The forbidden herb everyone's talking about. Let's start with the basics. What is Artemisia annua? Artemisia annua is a plant that's been used for over 2,000 years in traditional Chinese medicine, mainly for reducing fevers and treating malaria-like illnesses. In the 20th century, scientists isolated a powerful compound from this plant called artemisinin. This was a genuine breakthrough. Artemisinin-based medicines became a key treatment for malaria, a disease that still kills hundreds of thousands of people each year, especially children. In 2015, Tu Yu, a Chinese scientist who worked on extracting artemisinin from Artemisia annua, received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for this discovery. So right away, we can say two things. This is not a fake plant or a made-up internet fad. Artemisia annua is real, and it played an important role in modern medicine. The most powerful and well-studied part of it, artemisinin, is used in carefully dosed, regulated medications, not just homemade teas. Where the confusion starts is when people take this true history and stretch it into claims like, doctors are hiding this from you. This one herb can replace multiple medications. Pharmaceutical companies banned it because it works too well. Let's unpack what's true, what's exaggerated, and what's simply not supported. What science actually supports? From a scientific standpoint, the story goes roughly like this. The plant Artemisia annua contains many compounds, flavonoids, phenolics, lipids, and especially artemisinin. Artemisinin and its derivatives have strong anti-malaria activity and are used in artemisinin-based combination therapies, ACTs, which are recommended by the World Health Organization for treating certain forms of malaria. Researchers have also studied various extracts of Artemisia annua for things like antimicrobial effects, bacteria, parasites, some fungi, potential immune modulating effects, antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, possible effects on gut microbiota and liver cell protection in experimental models. You might hear claims that this herb can help with gut balance and parasite cleansing, general immune support, liver detoxification, and even serious conditions like autoimmune diseases or viral infections. Here's the key idea. There is interesting early research, but that does not automatically mean a safe, proven everyday treatment for seniors. Studies in cells or animals, or small short-term trials, are very different from long-term, large, well-controlled studies in real people with multiple medical conditions and medications, which is what most people over 50 are dealing with. So yes, Artemisia annua may have meaningful biological effects, but promising research is not the same as proven safe and effective for long-term self-use in older adults. Why is it regulated or restricted in some places? You might have heard that this herb is banned in certain countries and been told it must be because it's too good and big companies are threatened. The reality is more nuanced. In many regions, artemisinin-based medicines are approved and recommended by major health organizations, including WHO, for malaria treatment. What is often discouraged or restricted is using raw plant material or homemade Artemisia teas as a DIY malaria cure, because the content of active compounds varies wildly from plant to plant, farm to farm, harvest to harvest. Artemisinin from the leaves is poorly soluble in water, and tea extraction is inconsistent. Patients would need to drink large quantities of tea for many days to even approach the amount found in pharmaceutical doses, something people rarely do in real life. Repeated exposure to too low doses can contribute to drug resistance, making malaria harder to treat globally. Regulators are not saying, "This plant is evil and must be destroyed." They're saying, "Homemade, uncontrolled dosing with this plant is not reliable or safe as a primary treatment for a deadly disease like malaria." In some countries, the raw herb is tightly controlled or not allowed as a marketed medicinal treatment, while pharmaceutical artemisinin products are regulated and prescribed under medical supervision. That's a very different story from its ban because it cures everything. What about Big Pharma is hiding it? The file you shared points out that pharmaceutical companies profit from patented medications and that cheap herbal options might threaten those profits. It also hints that pharma wants to monopolize artemisinin drugs while discouraging people from using the plant itself. It is absolutely fair to say the healthcare industry is a business, medications and vaccines generate real profits, and sometimes corporate interests do influence pricing, access, and marketing. Those are real concerns, and being alert to financial incentives is healthy. But that does not automatically mean natural equals always safe and effective. Regulated equals always evil. Or, if something is restricted, it must be magical. In reality, some natural products are powerful and dangerous at the wrong dose. Some pharmaceuticals are life-saving and affordable. Some herbs help, others interact badly with medications. And as you age, your liver, kidneys, and heart are often more vulnerable. So rather than seeing this as you must choose herbs or medicine, it's wiser to think, I will use evidence-based care as my foundation and discuss any herbs or supplements with my doctor to see what fits safely into my overall plan. If you're still with me, it means you care about making informed choices, not just chasing headlines. Here on True Senior Healthness, that's exactly what we do. We take complicated, often sensational health topics and translate them into calm, practical guidance for people in their 50 seconds, 60 seconds, 70 seconds, and beyond. If that's the kind of support you want in your life, consider subscribing so you don't have to sort through scare-based or miracle-based content made for 20-year-olds. You'll get thoughtful videos designed for you. Now let's come back to the big question. What does all of this really mean for your daily life? Could Artemisia annua have a place in your health routine? Some people are curious about using Artemisia annua as a general immune support supplement, a gut health helper, or a natural detox support. Before you even think about that, ask yourself a few key questions. 1. What am I trying to achieve? If you're over 50, it can be tempting to look for a single herb that promises more energy, better immunity, protection from infections, and liver support all at once. But in real-world medicine, no single plant replaces well-controlled blood pressure, healthy cholesterol levels, steady blood sugar if you have diabetes, physical activity, good sleep, and a balanced diet. Artemisia annua might one day have specific, defined uses beyond malaria, but we are not at the stage where it is a universal, proven cleanser or cure. 2. Is it safe for me? According to the material you provided, potential side effects of Artemisia annua can include stomach discomfort, nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea, decreased appetite, flu-like symptoms, possible effects on heart rate, and with prolonged or high-dose use, liver toxicity. There is also the possibility of allergic reactions, especially in people sensitive to plants in the same family. For a healthy 2-5-year-old, a brief trial of an herb might be relatively low risk. For someone 65 with high blood pressure, a stent in their heart, blood thinners, diabetes medications, and mild kidney issues, even a natural product can have serious interactions or side effects. That's why it's crucial to discuss any Artemisia annua products with your primary doctor and your pharmacist, especially if you're on multiple medications. They can help check for interactions, monitor your labs if necessary, and make sure you're not accidentally putting extra stress on your liver or heart. 3. Am I using it instead of proven treatment? This is the biggest danger with any forbidden herb story. If someone starts using Artemisia annua, instead of prescribed malaria treatment, instead of antiviral or antibiotic treatment when truly needed, instead of managing their blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood sugar, they are taking a serious and unnecessary risk. The file you shared itself notes that WHO does not recommend Artemisia annua tea as a first-line malaria treatment, in part because dosing is unreliable and subtherapeutic doses can encourage resistance. In the same way, for seniors, do not stop blood pressure medications because you heard an herb can detox your arteries. Do not stop blood thinners or statins because you heard everything can be fixed with plants. Do not treat serious infections with herbs alone without proper medical care. Herbal products, when used, should be an addition, and only if your healthcare team agrees, not a replacement for treatments that keep your heart, brain, and kidneys alive. How to think about herbs wisely after 50. Whether we're talking about Artemisia annua, turmeric, ginseng, or any other plant, there are a few principles that can help you stay safe and empowered. 1. Respect the power of natural. Natural does not automatically mean safe, gentle, or appropriate for chronic, daily use. Many powerful poisons are natural. Many life-saving drugs originally came from plants, but then were purified, tested, dosed, and regulated. So treat herbs with respect, not fear, but also not blind trust. 2. Ask, where is this information coming from? Is the information coming from a balanced, evidence-based source, or from a video or article trying to provoke outrage against doctors and medicine? If the main message is, doctors are lying, companies are evil, this one plant will free you from all of that, that's a red flag. A trustworthy health discussion can acknowledge real problems in the system, real potential in natural compounds, and the real need for honest, careful science. 3. Talk openly with your doctor. Some seniors feel embarrassed to mention herbs to their doctors because they're afraid of being judged. Here's my encouragement. Tell them anyway. Say something like, I've heard about a plant called Artemisia annua that people use for immune and gut support. I'm not planning to use it as a medicine, but I'd like your thoughts on whether any form of it would be safe for me. A good clinician may not know every herb in detail, but they can. Look up interactions with your medications, consider your liver and kidney function, and give you a sense of whether occasional supplemental use might be reasonable or too risky. And if you don't feel heard at all, it might be worth seeking a second opinion from a provider open to discussing integrative or functional approaches alongside standard care. 4. Start low, go slow if and only if it's appropriate. If, after discussion, you and your doctor decide to try any herbal product, choose a reputable brand with quality control. Follow the lowest effective dose recommended by your healthcare team, not internet comments. Avoid stacking multiple detox or immune booster supplements at once. Pay attention to your body. If you notice new symptoms, digestive upset, fatigue, dark urine, yellowing of the eyes, palpitations, stop and contact your doctor. And again, never ever use Artemisia annua as a self-treatment for malaria, severe infections, or serious chronic diseases without medical supervision. So, is this forbidden herb being kept from you? Here's the honest, balanced answer. Yes, Artemisia annua is a plant with real, scientifically recognized power, especially through its derivative artemisinin, which has saved many lives in malaria treatment. Yes, it contains other compounds that may have interesting effects on inflammation, microbes, and possibly gut and liver health. But much of that research is early and not fully translated into clear, safe recommendations for older adults. Yes, pharmaceutical and economic interests influence how treatments are developed, approved, and priced. That's worth paying attention to. But also, no, this is not a magic herb that safely replaces your medications. No, bans or regulations do not automatically mean something is being hidden from you because it cures too much. And no, using this or any herb without medical guidance is not a shortcut to perfect health, especially if you're living with heart disease, diabetes, kidney issues, or other chronic conditions. The most powerful thing you can do is stay curious and stay skeptical at the same time. Curious enough to learn about herbs and natural options. Skeptical enough to demand good evidence and protect yourself from oversimplified promises. A gentle closing thought for your heart and your health. If you're in your 50 seconds, 60 seconds, 70 seconds, or beyond, you've already lived through decades of changing health advice. Eggs were bad, then okay. Fats were out, then some fats were in. Miracle diets came and went. Miracle pills came and went. Herbs are no different. Some will stand the test of time with strong evidence and safe, clear guidelines. Others will slowly fade once the hype quiets down. What doesn't change is this. Your heart still needs good blood pressure control. Your blood vessels still need healthy cholesterol and blood sugar. Your bones and muscles still need movement. Your brain still needs good sleep, human connection, and purpose. No forbidden plant can replace those foundations. If you're interested in herbs like Artemisia annua, let that curiosity lead you to better questions, not quick fixes. How can I combine the best of modern medicine and traditional wisdom safely with my doctor's guidance so I can stay independent, clear-minded, and active for as long as possible? That's the kind of health journey worth building, one where you're informed, respected, and in partnership with your healthcare team, not pushed around by fear or miracle claims. If you'd like more videos that slow things down, explain the science clearly, and translate it into real-world guidance for seniors, you're in the right place. Take what you've learned today, write down any questions you have, and bring them to your next appointment. Your doctor might not have heard of every forbidden herb, but together, you can decide what truly serves your heart, your health, and your future.